Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So I have a bowl of water off to the side. I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how I do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So, channel members, you guys had a collective message that posted yesterday, so definitely check that out if you haven't checked that reading out yet. And if you're interested in being a channel member, that link is always in the description box below. For those of you who are channel members, I noticed a lot of newer members don't seem to know about this. So if you have recently become a channel member and you haven't checked out the playlists, definitely navigate over. Actually, I feel like I'm supposed to use this soon. Definitely navigate over to the channel playlist section and check out all the classes and the lessons and things like that, because there's quite a few over there now. Okay. Okay. Taking a step aside. And allowing Spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. So I find it interesting that we're starting off this reading with the number 1. So there's something here about ourselves as an individual and what's caught in our gravity. Or maybe this is what gravity we're caught inside of. I'm seeing this here as like a pinchers. And this pinchers looks like a mechanism. And this mechanism almost looks like an octopus. And it's pinching at, those are making me think of peacock feathers, so the eyes, perception. So there's various perceptions that we have that seem to be getting pulled around by some sort of mechanism. And this message is coming through for someone to understand a little bit more about that mechanism that seems to hold us down. I'm almost seeing it like something that's coming up, that's grabbing at it and pulling it back down, okay? Kind of like an octopus, right? Living deep in the sea. And I'm just going to say it. I don't know why it just came to me, but because you know, I haven't thought of this in years, even though I see octopi. It made me think of Veruca Salt, the band from the, I think the band from the 90s. And there was 8 arms to hold you. And so there's something about 8 arms to hold you. So there's like different types of ways that this distraction will manifest, or maybe it manifests the same way with different faces if it's about people, okay? And what we need to know is that the center of this mechanism isn't outside of us, it's actually within. Okay? It's all going back to the one. And it's a box. It's a box that's being created that is generating out of our own gravity, or possibly the things that we accept, the things that we think that we deserve, or the things that we think we belong to, even. That's always an interesting topic, because a lot of times people will go through the same experience and they'll say, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve this, but they'll stay in that circumstance or those cycles. And you know, when we truly believe that we don't deserve something, or that it's not part of our vibe, we really close the door on those things. Every time it pops up, we close the door. We're like, no, I'm good. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but whatever the thing is that keeps reaching out and grabbing you, it will never stop until you decide that it's not allowed in your life, okay? Here, notice that that hammer doesn't have a handle, it has a nub. So it's a little nub thing. And so it's like we're building the tools. We're still building the tools on crafting some sort of defense against this mechanism. I feel like when that, you know, we don't get enough leverage there to be able to smash that mechanism, it needs the full handle. So someone's still developing the tools. And that's why this reading seems to be coming out. It's like support for somebody who's learning how to get out of this energy. Okay, first card. Okay, and there we go. We keep having this like sea theme. So the siren, what is the siren? The siren is something that is tempting. It's something alluring. It's something that we fall for, right? The siren comes up from the depths, presents this alluring face, then tries to drown us. And this essentially is a distraction. Sailors fall for the siren instead of just sailing home to their families, or just sailing to the place where they're supposed to go. They get off the boat, they jump off the side, right? This is something that tends to throw someone off of their course. And the course here, it's interesting because this is presenting itself to me as a dark energy. And the interesting thing about dark energies is, if you've been on this channel any length of time, you'll never hear me talk about dark energies as though they're bad, no matter what function they serve. The darker energies and the darker beings, we experience them because in their destructive nature, they give us the opportunity and the space to become better. So if you have a situation that continues to crop up to bring you down, crop up and bring you down, remember it can only bring you down if you hold its hand. So this is all about the function of this dark energy is really a profound teacher. It's teaching someone not to hold the hand of something that will bite it, will drown it, will, appears a certain way. And sometimes that mechanism isn't always what we think it is. So for example, people who fall for a particular type of person, right? Maybe it's not about the person, and it's not even about the cycle with falling for the particular type of person. It's about what we're attracted to, and understanding what we're attracted to and how that might be a cycle within us. So there's something here whenever the siren appears that's never really exactly how it seems. So there's a greater message here, a greater lesson that's kind of being hidden in plain sight. Okay. Oh, notice, I was going to say this, notice how similar this sort of galaxy looks to this, right? So it's like the seed is interesting because here it's speaking to me about two things. The first is in terms of some sort of pattern or cycle, and how the actual, okay, I heard pull this card, okay, how the actual genetics for the cycle, the actual DNA, the very thing that makes it up, is actually a seed deeply implanted within our belief system that's resonating out, right? It's our resonance. It makes up our beliefs, our thoughts, our feelings. It greatly impacts those things. So someone here, there may be a belief that we have to actually discover. When the siren leaves and we're able to see the belief, it feels like it's actually something that has a profound ability to change us. I always see that red stone as like the philosopher's stone, right? It's the point, it's the great work, to be able to transmute ourselves so that we come into our cosmic divine nature, but the siren is the one that's trying to pull us down, because the seed hasn't necessarily been purified into that just yet. That's the whole process of the Major Arcana in the tarot, by the way, is to purify the raw materials. And what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing this interconnection. And the interconnection here is being presented by the number 3. It's being presented by a very triskelion looking image, but the seed is actually in the center. So it's like we may be focused on the shape, we may be focused on what the cycle looks like, and in reality it's somewhere in the center of all of that is the truth. In the center of ourself is the truth. We may have this dance going on with different types of situations that keep presenting inside of our life, and those are just distractions, and the actual point is something in the middle that we can only find within ourselves. And whatever it is that we are looking for, whatever it is that we keep gravitating towards, it keeps us latching on to these energies or latching on to the arms that are trying to drag us down. What you're really looking for is inside of yourself. This is bringing me into my little mushroom guy, or maybe he's an umbrella hat guy. He just always looks like a mushroom guy to me. So it's bringing me into this like sort of plant medicine space, and not so much in the medicine aspect as it is the mind altering, right? There's something here that alters our mind. Again, that mechanism that pulls our perception. It's like we will see things as beautiful when in fact it's actually very ugly, right? Or we'll see things as dangerous when it's actually the thing that we need to go after because it's the best thing for us. So there's something here about our perception being skewed, and it's important to go within and to ignore the distractions, go within and figure out what it is that needs to be purified that's at the heart of our resonance. Our resonance is our deep beliefs, not what we consciously tell ourselves. There are deep beliefs, our feelings, and our behaviors. So, you know, a lot of times people will have like the spiritual bypassing or the toxic positivity, and they'll say, no, but I think this, I think this, I think this. And meanwhile, when they wake up, they feel miserable, because in those first moments when you wake up, you can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to yourself. So I always tell people, pay attention to how you feel in your body and in your soul when you first wake up, because that's your truth. Okay? If you wake up and you're a happy person, good. If you wake up and you have anxiety, if you wake up and you feel empty, if you wake up and you feel away, there's a little bit of digging that needs to be done. And never discount doing that with a professional. Okay? That's what they're trained to do. Okay, here we have the shaman. It's not necessarily shamanism, but this is a very magical space. And the reason why it's a magical space is because it includes many perceptions. So whoever this message is for, this is about being the type of person who can conceive of many things at once, having an ability to communicate with the dead, having an ability to to shed layers and basically reinvent the self. And if you have this ability to reinvent the self, this is a handy ability to use in terms of shaking off this energy. Again, it's not necessarily the energy, it's more the mechanism, right? I get to decide how valuable I am. I get to decide who I want to be. I get to decide what I'm doing with myself. I get to decide who's in my space. Those are all the powers of the serpent, because this is what makes the serpent so wise. When the serpent is ready, it outgrows its skin. It sheds the layer that we previously knew it by, and it comes out fresh and new. And there's this burrowing into the underground that a lot of serpents will do. And this is being very comfortable in those dark spaces and understanding that if you go deep within your own soul, you actually come out on the side of light, right? Being able to burrow into the ground of our minds and our energy system, and being able to transmute something from that space. I don't always see the snake as transmutation, but in this context with the gold, I do. Okay. Here we have the number 5. Number 5 is the number of change. We have a cell phone here with a cracked face, which is funny because I actually just yesterday took the screen cover off my phone because it had cracked when I was out in Yosemite hiking around, and thank God I had a screen cover. Otherwise I'd be kind of messed up right now. But this is interesting because it's the way that we receive the communication, right? It's not necessarily that the communication is damaged here. It's how we're able to actually interpret and see the communication that's trying to come through. So there's this lens somewhere. This is very much about the conscious mind and then the subconscious mind, not the unconscious mind. And when we have the subconscious mind, this is the generator of the emotions. I feel certain things. And the problem is that we don't feel those things accurately with our conscious mind because we have a preconscious layer. And in that preconscious layer, we have all of our beliefs, we have our core concepts, we have negative programming, we have our traumas. And it's very important to get inside that preconscious layer. Preconscious means that we have access to it. It's just we might have to do a little digging for it. And to clear out those lenses, I always recommend journaling first thing in the morning and writing out how you feel and really digging into that space and just holding the space for self to have that conversation with yourself, right? Not having the seriousness of I have to figure this out this particular way. Like, open up your imagination, let yourself, hear from yourself, and just write the first thing that you hear and see, does that feel right? Does that sit well with my body? Again, I definitely recommend for anybody who understands that they have repeating patterns inside their life that are negatively impacting them, speaking to a professional. You have to speak to a few before you find one that you like most often, but it's definitely worth it. And others of you might do really well with, like, for example, I really like overnight affirmations, which, by the way, I have a subliminal and overnight affirmation channel called Ritual. That's always linked in the description box. It's there to provide additional videos to help support your journey. And if you listen to one of the overnight affirmations and it has commercial in the middle of it. I didn't put that there. YouTube will take my longer videos and do that sometimes around like the 6 hour, 7 hour mark for whatever reason. So I haven't had complaints about that lately, so hopefully that's not the case right now, but when it first came out, they did. Let's see. There's this energy that once we can kind of work through those layers, the communication that our feelings are actually trying to give us, it's where it becomes intuition, right? That's where magic starts to happen. So whoever this message is for, we're meant to step into a deeper space of interconnection with the cosmos, with the universe, with the divine. And there's a distraction here that's consistently entangling us and pulling our perception askew. And our job now is to release ourselves from that distraction, to start to do some inner work so that we can clear out the perceptions and the hurts and the pains and the insecurities. That's a big one. The insecurities that cause us to immediately feel that someone's saying a thing to us and someone's doing this thing to us and they're out to get us, and all the things that we tell ourselves that are so pervasive inside of our viewpoints that literally it becomes our reality. Clearing up our resonance in that way so that we can actually receive the information from the subconscious, so that now we know that, oh, it's not that I have to be afraid of this thing, it's that this thing, I'm feeling these strong emotions because I'm being drawn towards this thing. And you know, this is how we have serendipitous moments. This is where we start to recognize when an opportunity is actually really good for us, when a person isn't good for us. It's where we get the intuitions that, you know, maybe I should start to create this thing and things will go well for me. So getting clear communication here. Yeah. Remember the hammer. The hammer's not just destroying something, it's also trying to build. Right now we're working on building that tool. And this always makes me think of the Tower of Babel, which the tower that got so high that it got destroyed and people were scattered and their language was scattered. But for me, really what that means is something pre-flood. When I lean into the symbolism of that, what it tells me is it's like going back to a time before we were inundated with these negative emotions that were kind of destroying certain things that could have been inside of our life, like, you know, things that eventually laden us with grief, guilt, shame, unhappiness, anxiety, all those things. The more positive emotions of a bygone time within our life, usually childhood, right? I almost view puberty as like the flood event symbolically. And there's something here about allowing ourselves, and I feel that there's this thing that's going to happen. It's like this transmutation that starts to take place over the course of the next 3 significant lunar events. Okay, so you know, tap inside and ask yourself what those significant lunar events are going to be. But the next 3 significant lunar events, it's like something else begins to grow. And maybe you get sick of that relationship that keeps trying to drag you down, or the same type of people that enter your life pretending to be friends. And maybe you get sick of accepting peanuts at work. You know, there's something here about transmutation and a growth process that's happening. And slowly our communication with, you know, what does the cell phone communicate with? The ethers, our digital, right? Our telepathic abilities might increase. Our intuitive faculties will increase. And this is what we need to be online in order to follow our true calling. So whoever this message is for, there's a mechanism at play, and it's time for that to come down. It's absolutely time for that to come down. Last card. Okay, 8. Manifestation. 8's the number of manifestation. And I talked about the jade plant yesterday. And the jade plant, you know, when I lean into the energy of the jade plant, this is like a plant of prosperity. And you can cut like a little leaf off of the jade plant and it doesn't die. You can put it back in soil and it'll grow new roots. It's very versatile. It's extremely hardy. So it's something that persists and it thrives in conditions like that. And here it's on a pedestal. So this is about putting our strength and our ability to generate our own well-being on a pedestal. There's also this energy coming in where there's like a fantasy element. I don't know why this is making me think of the Dark Crystal, where especially where she first comes across Fizzgig. It's like in that really enchanted forest, and that's what this is making me think about. It's like a return to innocence is happening here. There's this return to innocence and a belief in the magical, and as we pull our belief into the more magical realm, what we're doing is we're calling in the field of the mages, of the magic workers, and this not just increases our intuition and our psychic ability, it increases the chances for miracles in our life, right? Our manifestation abilities, our ability to work magic, to be magic, to bring healing energy into the spaces that we walk into, rather than this distraction and being stuck in this dark, dense, like solidified cycle. So I'm going to leave this here. And whoever's message this is, good luck with this. I wish you the best of luck. The fact that the hammer appears is a very good sign, okay? So if this resonated with you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.